Teodoro was going to get married. Head over heels in love. He and his fiancée savored every second, tenderly enjoying that sweet connection that exalts love to the anticipation of its imminent fulfillment. The wedding will be in May, barring any unforeseen obstacles to the couple's happiness. But as the appointed day approached, a terrible one arose. Teodoro was drafted into the officer lottery. The law was against him. He can't recall him back. Everyone knows what happened on such occasions. The bride suffered fading spells and nervous breakdown. She shed tears that ran down her precious cheeks, pale as magnolia leaves, or soaked her lace handkerchief. And in the last days that Teodoro was able to spend with his beloved, Bossel's Constancy were in chains, and happiness was postponed until their return. Shall heard the brain's extremes that Teodoro left with a less sorrowful jar, almost joyful at times, for he was courageous and did not shy away, even in thought, from accepting his duty. He wrote whenever he could, and he received no shortage of loving and fervent letters, in reply to his own somewhat laconic ones. Writing after a day with screening fatigue, stealing time from the rest, and avoiding mentioning the hardships and privation of a cruel campaign, so as not to disgrace the absent girl. A trusted friend committed to spy on Teodoro's sweetheart. No man can resist such child temptation when he is far away and truly loves. She knew that the girl was living in seclusion, like a widow. Of hearing this, Teodoro felt a joy that made him forget the burning test, the scorching sound, the fever that hot in the air, and the thorns that tore at his skin. One day, she ran out from the thick underground as the column Teodoro was leading passed by. Teodoro closed his eyes and swayed on his horses. They picked him up and tried to deter him, while the invisible enemy crawled fled. When the wounded man was taken to the hospital, it was discovered that his leg bone was shattered, a complicated, extremely serious fracture. The doctor gave his diagnosis. To save his life, an amputation above the kneecap had to be performed urgently, warning that he considered it dangerous to give the patient chloroform. Teodoro endured the operation, shone with his eyes opened, and he saw an spool cut into his skin and dry all his muscles. He saw bite into the bone until they reached the marrow, and his right leg, bloody and already dead, was carried away to be buried. He didn't utter cry or a groan, only an body cousin over pain. If he breathed a cigarette, he was choking with his death. According to the surgeon, the operation had gone perfectly. There was no supervision or fever. He done well, quickly and well. And Teodoro's son began to tread out his wounded leg. A common prosthetic, while he waited to order another one from Germany, made according to the latest advancements. When he wrote to his girlfriend from the hospital, he had only mentioned a wound, and a minor one at that. He didn't want to upset or frighten her. Even so, the mention of the wound alarmed the girl so much that her letters were cries of terror and upspoutings of affliction. Why wasn't she there to comfort him, to give him company, to ease his suffering? How could she endure until the next letter, when he won't announce his recovery? To send her a simple page meant to insult Loro, instead caused him profound nuisance. He thought constantly that he won't return, see his beloved, and that she will see him too. But what a difference! He was no longer the dashing officer with his slender figure and stride, graceful stride. He was an imbue, poor little imbue, a wretched, useless man. Goodbye to the marshes, goodbye to the fairy horses, goodbye to the intoxicating walls, goodbye to the fencing that strengthens. We will have to live sitting down, running away in inactivity, receiving a handout of love or pity, the sort of charity for his misfortune. And Teodoro, as he took his first steps, leaning on his crutch, sensed his sweetheart's reaction when he arrived like this, lame and mutilated. He, the handsome fiancé, whom her friends had no one to beg, to see the light compassion in the adored eyes. How sad it would be, how sad! He looked at himself in the mirror and saw the marks of suffering on his face, and thought of the dry sounds of the wounded leg on the straits of his future wife's house. With the back of his hand, he pulled out of a tear of rage that welled up at the corner of his eye. He asked for paper and pen, and wrote a short letter for breaking up and a eternal farewell. 2 years passed. Theodora had returned to the peninsula, but not to the city here he had loved and waited. Out of necessity, he had to go there for a few days, and although he avoided going out, one afternoon he unexpectedly encountered her, his former sweetheart. Flustered and trembling, he stopped and let her pass. She was on the arm of a man, her husband. The amputee, now recovered and firmly standing on his leg, skillfully traveling Berlin, a marvel of orthopedics that concealed his limb, and indeed, in a gleam, but not say that his beloved husband was ridiculously disfigured, very boiler, with bony knees and a ignoble foot, and a smile of melancholy McCarty pressed across his grave and manly countenance.